Are you freaking kidding me right now? Dude, this is me walking from the car into here, which is like 50 yards. I've reshot this like 3 times now because I just can't believe that I don't like the Bowtech Revolt X at all. So if you bought a Bowtech Revolt X and you're thinking to yourself, I'm hoping at the end of the video he comes out and is like, I hated it when I bought it, but now I love it. That's not this video. Stop. This music doesn't work for this. There we go. Yeah. This is more how I feel. I don't know what to say. It's not you, it's me. Like, that's about the only thing that I can think of. Like, you don't like the way I touch you. That's kind of creepy. The UPS guy dropped a package off the other day, and it contained 50 Cuban cigars. The package was all, like, crumpled up, so I got 50 Cuban cigars. All right. Let's get into the actual technical specs of the Bowtech Revolt X. 33-inch axle to axle, 6.5-inch brace height, an IBO of 340, draw links that are adjustable on the bow from 26 to 31 inches. Draw weights of 50 pounds, 60 pounds, and 70 pounds. Total weight of the bow is 4.5 pounds. Let me show you some of the things about this that are actually really cool about this bow. So let's start off with the deadlock cam system. This is definitely one of the coolest things that I've seen this year as far as just making a bow super easy to mess with the cams without having to put it on a bow press. You literally unscrew this right here, maybe a couple of turns. You just want to kind of break it loose, and then you twist this tune knob, and it basically just kind of screws like a normal screw back and forth so you can move your axles. And they have got the exact same system on the lower cam and the upper one so that you can basically, you kind of have to measure and then line it up together, and then you've essentially moved your cam all the way to the right if you want, or all the way to the left. There's a lot of travel that you can introduce. So the other thing that you can see in here is this flip disc system. I've got it set on performance right now. And you can actually unscrew this, and I'll show you how, and then flip it over to the comfort setting. And again, this comes standard with the bow. You can go from an 80% let off to a 90% let off. So this right here is your draw stop. And that's actually how they get so much mileage out of this single cam without having to do anything. You can adjust it from 26-inch draw length all the way up to 31. So I think I have mine set at 30.5 right now. So in order to adjust and go from that comfort setting over to the performance setting, you loosen these 3 screws, you back them all the way out. They've got to come all the way out. And then that flip module, the flip disc, is actually going to come loose on the other side. You then turn it over, and then you'll place it back where it was before. Now, here's how you will know where it's supposed to be. You see the numbers on this side, 26 all the way to 31. There's a small little stud on the actual module that you'll put in the corresponding hole for your draw length. So mine would be on 30.5. Now, how did I know that that's where that stud was supposed to go? Did I read the manual and find out? No. Did I watch another YouTube video? No. Was there anything in any of the forums that I searched? No. No, there weren't. I just experimented and messed around because there's other ways to align it on the backside that look like they make sense. However, they don't make sense. And the only thing you're going to do is something similar to this. Watch this. Watch this. I thought I had this adjusted properly. After I rotated the flip disc around, I noticed that there's a stud on it. And so I put that stud in number 31 because my draw length is set to 31. not set to 31, set to 30.5. But this gives you a good idea of what happens if you really want to increase your hold weight on the back wall. You probably void your warranty. Literally what's about to happen, it bounces off that back wall, probably 50% let off. That's for this tiny little increment. Tiny. So don't do what I did. That's kind of the theme of the video. Don't do what I did. And I tried it, so this is what it looks like when you do it. Put the stud in the 31. It's getting really hard right here, and then I'm in the back wall, and literally, if I let up at all, oh God! There's a decent chance I just shot a hole in the Forerunner. Just so I can make it really, really clear, I'm actually going to do this on camera. I'm going to take this screw out, and this screw out. I'm going to show you the flip disc. I'm going to spin it back over to comfort and show you how that stud locks in place. So now what I'm going to do is turn it over to the other side. You can see right here where it says comfort, and you want that side out when you actually want to be shooting the comfort setting. So I'll show you on the other side of the bow here. So that's the stud I'm talking about. So again, if this is on my lap and I'm just trying to put this together, I kind of am doing like one of these things where I'm like, well, all right. I mean, that looks pretty good. Like this kind of lines up here and this lines up here, but I can also kind of move this way, and I can do like this. I don't understand. And because I'm kind of a dumbass, I didn't just look on the other side and see where the stud is supposed to go in. So don't be like me. Make sure that you look on the other side, and then put it in place like that. Put your finger on there to give it a little bit of pressure, turn it over, and then you're going to want to put these in with an actual torque wrench. And I think they said it was something like 20 pounds, 2 pounds. I don't know. You should probably read the manual about that one. Don't trust me. I clearly don't know what I'm doing. So you can see what I'm talking about as far as adjusting the actual mods go. There were too many things where I could make a mistake. And the first time I drew it back, which I didn't show you guys, I'd set it really, really light, and I didn't realize it because, again, I was just kind of looking on the one side as I had the bow sitting on my lap, distracted. I don't even know what it was on, but literally as I drew back, when it came over into the back wall, I was like, oh crap, something is big time wrong. So I start to try to let down, and it literally is to the point where I feel like I'm pushing forward, and then all of a sudden those cams jump and boom! That thing goes forward, and just, I think the bottom line is just make sure that stud is in exactly the right place, which, duh, except it was kind of easy for me to screw it up. Whereas when I was working on the Prime yesterday, not easy to screw it up. Like, really, really difficult to screw it up. Because it's really super obvious that what you were adjusting. The reason this bow is so fast, and it is very fast, I'll just tell you now, it's the fastest bow out of the entire bunch. And why do you think that is? I think it's because there's so little material on these cams. Look at this compared to the Matthews. You see how bulky that Matthews cam is? That makes me nervous that this thing is not going to have the longevity when these other companies are going to cams that are a lot bigger, a lot more hulking, have a lot more meat to them. So let's talk about the draw cycle. Side note, I really like these stand releases because they come with this little stud that you can screw in to the body here, and it will basically make it so that you can hook it onto your D-loop and actually execute a shot without it opening. So like I can do this and feel relatively comfortable drawing the bow back without an arrow in it. It still makes me a little nervous every single time I do it, but I'm gonna do it because it's still freaking soaking wet, raining outside. I digress. Let's talk about the draw cycle. So I've got it set in performance, and this is what it does. It draws, and then all of a sudden it stacks up and then it dumps it down into the valley. So that's in performance mode, and I'll show you. I'll try to do it slow so you can kind of see it, and I'll talk through it. Even, it's getting really hard there, and then you hit that stack, and then it literally just falls off a cliff when you're at the back. Falls off a cliff. It literally feels so bad that I wonder if there's something wrong with the bow. Like, that fall off at the end is about this far, where it just goes boonk. It's brutal. Comfort mode is a completely different thing. The draw is one of the easiest of any of the bows on comfort mode. Really, really smooth. It stacks a little bit, and then it has that huge dump off at the end because you're working with a 90% let off at that point. It's got a bunch of threaded holes throughout the bow, which is actually kind of cool. Like, it's got 3 here, 1 here. Same thing, 3 at the bottom, 1 over here on this side. And I guess it's for adding accessories and other dampeners, so you could kind of load this thing up with dampeners if you want to. Which, if you buy one, you're going to want to, because it actually has hand shock. Like, some of them have a little bit of a feel, but the Bowtech actually has kind of a mid-tone snap to it. Like, it's not like a tch or a doo, it's like a doo. That makes no sense, but that's the only way I know how to describe it. Kind of a mid-tone snap. I actually really like the way the width of the grip feels and the position of the riser with the way it puts your hand in, but what I don't like is this cheap-ass piece of plastic that they put back here. Now, apparently they make replacements for it that you can change the actual wrist angle on it, but if it's the same kind of thing, like, it literally, there's a little bit of motion to it, and it literally, like, clicks. Like, the clicking that you're hearing is not my nail hitting it. It's actually, there's a little bit of motion in the bow. I'm just going to say it. This bow is a retail price that's very similar to the other bows. But to me, it feels like something that you would pay, like, $5.99 for at, like, Cabela's. And you'd be happy to have it. But it just doesn't seem like it plays ball in the same arena that the rest of these boys play in. It is very probable that it's me. I tried multiple different stabilizers to try to get the bow to stop kicking out hard to the left. And it's not like kind of your normal, there's a little bit of, a little bit of motion one way or the other. This thing, when I first got it, just kicking hard out and under to the left. So what I'm about to show you is I'm going to go through the different stabilizers and the different stabilizer setups that I was attempting to use to just kind of test it out and see how it was shooting. So really watch the kick out in the slow motion video so that you can see how it was actually performing with the way I shoot. Again, not blaming it on the bow, just me. I tried a short stabilizer that doesn't really have any stabilizations. It's more of just a noise dampener. Nope. I tried a short bee stinger, like an 8-inch with 3 ounces of weight on the front. But still no. I kicked the bee stinger off to the left-hand side just for fun. Nope. I kicked it off to the right. Better, but still no. I switched to a 12-inch with 4 ounces of weight, and just for fun, because the Bowtech has all these cool holes everywhere that you can screw stuff to, I added about 10 ounces of weight to the bottom of the bow. Nope. I added a back bar. A little bit better. I switched the angle of the back bar. A little bit better. I took the back bar and put it on the other side just for fun. I'm not going to actually show you any of the shooting results for the Bowtech, and here's why. I bought 5 bows this year, and if you've watched any of my videos before, you've kind of heard me talk about this, but I'm literally going through Matthews, Prime, Elite, Hoyt, and Bowtech. So the actual shooting specs are going to be in a video where I put all 5 of these complete head-to-head, once I've got them all shooting exactly like I want, where I've gone through and done exactly what I've done with the Bowtech, where I learn everything about it, I figure out exactly the amount of stabilization I want it, found out what what arrows, what rests, where I want my knocking points, all those little fine-tuned details that you can't do in the shop. That's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm not going to show you the shooting portion here. You have to just subscribe, and then you get to come back, and then you get to watch me do this in the future. I feel bad, because I hate making a review where I'm so down on something, and I'm going to save all the actual shooting specs for the video where I put all 5 head-to-head. If this thing blows me out of the water as far as grouping, I may still pick it. No, I won't. I won't pick it. Like, it's just, overall, just feels that bad for me that I wouldn't pick it. So, just FYI, Bowtech is out of the running this year for my personal pick of the bow that I want to take into 2020. I'm going to put it through its paces, and I'm going to do a much more detailed review. I'm going to get into the whole deadlock system a lot more. Again, I'm going to talk about some of the cool features of the bows and some of the things that I think are really innovative and interesting. But for me, the Bowtech Revolt X is not the bow that I want to shoot for 2020. Thanks for watching. I'm Brandon McDonald.